Okay, guys, Panzer J back. We're about to do the Japanese turn here in Operation Live and Let Die 17.3. So, I just wanted to pick up a little bit on the comments that Global War 36 enthusiast made his last turn. I appreciate the kind words, and I'm sure Fighting Irish does as well. It's just ironic how he was heaping praise on the two of us, and it's clear that he is definitely going to win the game. I don't think there's any question about that. Next turn, 17, I believe, is where we start rolling for the variable ending to the game. But even if that die roll is high for several turns, so that the game doesn't end till, let's say, 20 or beyond, there's really no stopping the common turn at this point. You definitely have to give it up to Global War 36 enthusiast. He has played this game brilliantly. He had mentioned how Fighting Irish was standing up strong to the two of us, and he definitely is. But if you guys remember, the first probably, I don't know, I'd say around half a dozen, maybe 8-10 turns, it was the two of them really against myself as the Axis. So both Fighting Irish and I have been on the receiving end of a double team in this game. And Global War 36 enthusiast has been able to be a part of two different alliances without being ganged up on himself. And that's great. He's like Machiavelli in that and sense, been pulling the strings and forging alliances, and definitely it's worked out brilliantly for him. He is well on his way to a victory here. Fighting Irish and I just continue to beat each other up, so it's like I'm not sure if there's been no peace feelers whatsoever coming from the Allies, so I'm not sure if Churchill and Roosevelt consider Hitler and Tojo and Mussolini their mortal enemies, but there's been no even talk of peace between the Axis and the Allies in this game. And again, the common turn, for the most part, has been free of attack. There's been some back and forth a little bit in China, but as far as the Soviet Union goes, there's really Germany has not gone into the Soviet Union, and the Allies really haven't made a push against the Russians either. So the Russians have really been kind of just able to sit back and gobble up territories, increase their income. I mean, they're completely unstoppable at this point. And again, Fighting Irish and I just continue to beat each other up, and pretty much focus just on each other. And that's pretty much been how the game has gone for the last, half a dozen turns or so. So I think it's safe to say, even though we're not officially at an end, that this game will end in a common turn victory. So now it's just basically a fight for second place at this point. So on to the Japanese now, the open wound, so to speak, of the Axis cause. We do not have a lot that we can accomplish here as the Japanese. I was under false hope that I could break the blockade. I do not think that's going to happen. If you guys watched Fighting Irish's last U.S. turn, he sunk the 3 subs that I put down. I just had a complete brain freeze, I guess, and didn't think about his planes being on maritime air patrol. I was hoping to build up subs for a couple of turns and then drop down all those capital ships that I have on the production chart, but clearly that's not going to happen. Any subs I put out there are just going to be destroyed. So, and I don't think those capital ships are going to be enough to break the blockade, especially with him having those 2 fleets in on either side of Japan there. So might be giving up any hope for a break in the blockade here. So we're just going to try to obviously hold on to Tokyo. I don't think that really is in any danger. I don't think that Fighting Irish has the strength to take Tokyo. I've got a bunch of units there. 5 fighters, 3 tacticals, like 11 infantry, a militia, a couple of cavalry, plus what I'm going to be putting down this turn. So I don't think necessarily Tokyo is really in any danger, although now watch me having said that and Fighting Irish pulls off some brilliant move and I lose Tokyo. But we're going to try to give the Americans here at least a little bit of a run for their money with Japan. Try to redeem ourselves in some way. So on to our tech rolls. We have 2. So we're going to shoot for radar, which is at stage 1, and improve factories, which is at stage 3. So let's see. Radar, we need a 7 or higher. And we got a 12, so we moved up to stage 2 for that. And then improve factories is at stage 3, a 7 or higher. And we got a 10, so we actually moved up on both of our rolls, which is quite shocking. Okay, so Japan is up to stage 2 for radar, and then they complete improved factory. So that's actually their 4th tech they've completed. So I guess maybe I'm complaining for nothing. It's not too bad overall, I suppose. Okay, so now on to purchases. We have $21, and we're going to spend 20 of it, so we save $1. We're going to buy 2 cavalry for 6. 2 paratroopers for 6. And again, I'm just using the HBG partisan sculpt. I don't have any sculpts that really fit Japanese paratroopers. I've got some markers coming that I'm guessing I'm going to have to use for the Japanese paratroopers. And then an air transport. So 6, 6, and 8, that is $20. No combat moves. We are out of kamikaze attacks, so we can't do anything there. So we are going to just move right along to non-combat. And this cavalry in northern Manchuria is going to come down 1, 2 to Rihe. This motorized is going to move back 1 to Rihe. And I believe that is actually all we're doing for non-combat. So now on to unit placement. All 5 of our new purchases are going in Tokyo. I'll chip out some of these cavalry here in a minute. So I'll put those 2 cavalry down. Our air transport we'll put down. And then our 2 paratroopers. So that is it for unit placement. So now Tokyo altogether has 2 coastal artillery, 4 cavalry, a militia, 2 paratroopers, an air transport, 3 tacticals, 5 fighters, 11 infantry, and Tojo is holed up in a fortress in downtown Tokyo. So actually, that's probably not smart. He should probably be on the outskirts of Tokyo, I would think, to avoid any U.S. bombing, I suppose. Okay, so that's it for the Japanese as far as unit placement. So now on to collect income. So we are still blockaded, so we just have our $6 worth of Japanese home territories. And then we have Java still, amazingly. So that's worth 2. And then we have Peking, which is worth $1. So that's 3. So that's 9. And let's see what we can get for our wartime economy. If there's any justice, we'll get a high roll here. So 9 plus 7, not too bad. So that's 16, plus we saved $1. So that's $17 Japan will have on turn number 18 coming up. So now turning things over to Fighting Irish and the UK and the French.